everyone, welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. We are going to be talking about the case of ELISA LAM. So this case resurfaced and is getting talked about quite a lot recently because of a viral TikTok video that I saw going around, which is where I got the idea from. And also Netflix is filming a documentary about this case. So I thought I'd just cover it before the Netflix documentary comes out. So before I get started with today's video, I'm going to just do a quick disclaimer. In no way do I mean any disrespect to anybody that I've mentioned in this video or any family of anybody that I've mentioned in this video. All the information is just information I found on the internet and I'm putting it all together into one video. So ELISA LAM was born on the 30th of April in 1991 and she was born in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. Prior to her trip to California, the 21-year-old college student was struggling quite a bit with her mental health. She was diagnosed with bipolar disorder and depression, and she was on 4 different medications already to help with this. I'm going to list the medications on screen now because I don't know the names of them. I don't know how to pronounce it. Her family did try to keep all of this information quite private, but obviously it got found out. But they did mention that she had no history of any suicide attempts or any suicidal thoughts. Speaking about her family, they were all very close and they were quite worried about ELISA going on this trip by herself. As a deal with her family and her parents, ELISA promised that she would call every day while she was on this trip just to give her parents that peace of mind to make sure that they knew she was safe. On the 26th of January 2013, ELISA checked into the Cecil Hotel, which was located in downtown LA. And a lot of people that look into this case do question why ELISA chose to stay at this particular hotel, considering that there were better options out there and cheaper options out there, and in better parts of Los Angeles as well. And the hotel also had quite a dark past, as well as having a reputation for attracting low-level criminals and prostitutes. At least 2 serial killers, which I'm going to put on the screen here because I don't know how to pronounce their names either, called the hotel home during their killing sprees in 1985 and 1991. So after checking into the Cecil Hotel and being there for a couple of days, ELISA did keep the promise and kept calling her parents every day to let them know that she was safe and well. So this is why on the 31st of January 2013, the day ELISA was actually supposed to check out of the hotel, when her parents didn't receive any communication at all from their daughter, they got worried and decided to contact the local police department in Los Angeles. And the police checked the premises of the Cecil Hotel, but they had no luck in finding ELISA whatsoever. So this is where the police decided to look at the surveillance footage, which were taken by the cameras at the Cecil Hotel. And on the 15th of February 2013, this is 2 weeks after ELISA disappeared, this is when the surveillance footage was released to the public. So this one surveillance video from the hotel went viral on the internet and it drew worldwide attention to the missing case of ELISA LAM. In this video, it shows ELISA in one of its elevators on the day of her disappearance, behaving quite strangely. In the pixelated footage, she enters the elevator. She pushes multiple buttons and then peeps out of the elevator as if she's looking for like an attacker. She then proceeds to step in and out of the elevator a few times. And midway through the video, ELISA is seen standing outside and appears to be talking to herself while she makes rather elaborate hand gestures. No one is seen in the video with her. And then she exits the elevator and disappears from the camera's view. This was the last footage of ELISA alive, and many theories evolved with her actions in the surveillance video. One of the theories, and I think the most popular one, was that she was trying to get into the elevator to escape someone that was chasing her on that floor. Another one of the theories was that she was under the influence of ecstasy or another drug. And another one of the theories was due to her bipolar disorder, she could have been experiencing a psychotic episode. So on the 19th of February, one of the hotel guests at the Cecil Hotel complained to the staff about the water. They complained that black water was coming out of the faucet and it had a really unpleasant smell and an unpleasant taste. A hotel staff member named, I think, Santiago Lopez, went up to check the water tanks which were on the roof of the Cecil Hotel. When he went up there, he climbed on the ladder of this tank to look inside, and that was when the body of ELISA LAM was discovered. ELISA was found naked, but all of the clothes that she was wearing that day were found around her in the water, and these were the same clothes that were found in that elevator video footage of her, the same clothes that she was wearing. What was quite a strange thing to people after she was found in this water tank was, in order to get to the rooftop where the tanks are, you have to go through locked alarm doors that only the employees have access to, because you need a hotel staff member's pass to get up there. And even Santiago himself, to be able to get up there and check the water tanks, he had to deactivate an alarm so the alarm system didn't go off. And even if somehow someone did manage to get to the roof, they had to firstly get onto the platforms where the water tanks were actually located. Then they would have to climb a 10-foot ladder to get to the top of the water tank. And then when they would get to the top of the tank, they'd have to move a 20-pound lid off of the top of it to be able to put ELISA in there. And there have been theories going around online that due to ELISA's poor mental health that she put herself in there. But this doesn't really make sense to me, because in order for her to have done that to herself, she would have had to firstly somehow get onto the part where the water tanks are, which she wouldn't have been able to do by herself because of all the alarms and stuff. And then she would have had to climb up the 10-foot ladder and move a 20-pound lid off of the top of it by herself, and then somehow get into the water tank and then put the lid back over, which would have been almost impossible for you to do, and especially by herself as well. Only one person saw ELISA prior to her death. This was a woman named Katie Orphan, the owner of the last bookstore which ELISA walked into, and she purchased gifts to take back home to her family. Katie Orphan told the CBS LA that it seemed like ELISA had plans to return back home, plans to give these things back to her family members and to reconnect with them. So when the autopsy results came back, and for those of you that don't know what an autopsy is, it's an examination of the body of a dead person that is primarily performed to determine the cause of death. So when these results came back, it only raised more questions. The toxicology report came back and it said that ELISA had consumed a number of medical drugs that were for her bipolar disorder, but there were no indications of any illegal drugs in her body, or alcohol as well. But the coroner's office did say that they couldn't do a complete examination because of the blood from her decomposing body. They couldn't examine it properly. So now I'm going to talk about the theories of ELISA's death, because there are endless theories about ELISA's death. I found so many online. But I'm just going to be talking about just a few of them and going in quite a bit of detail. And then you guys can tell me what theories you believe to be true. So the first theory that I found online, and this is one that many people do believe, is that ELISA committed suicide. And many people believe this because of her poor mental health at the time of her death. In her blog that she used to write, she used to document all of her poor mental health. So the people that read this know firsthand that she suffered with things like depression. So police found no evidence that supports this theory and that she killed herself. But even if she sadly did, this doesn't explain the events leading up to her death or how she got into that water tank, because like I explained earlier, it would be near enough impossible to do that. Especially when, if she did plan on killing herself, there were so many easier ways for her to do this. Like, she could have jumped out of a window like somebody who previously stayed in this hotel did. So I'm going to get onto the second theory now. Another theory that people explore is that she accidentally drowned. I think it's drowned. Many people believe that it was ELISA's bipolar disorder that led to her death, or was to blame for her death. Some forms of bipolar disorder can make people hallucinate if they don't have the right treatment. So because of this, some people speculated that ELISA had a manic episode and she was trying to hide from someone in the tank and accidentally drowned. So now I'm going to get on to the third and last theory that I did some research on. The last theory that people explore is that she was murdered by a hotel employee. There's no conclusive evidence to prove that Elisa was murdered, but there also isn't any evidence to show that she wasn't murdered. People say that the Cecil Hotel attracted serial killers before, so what's to say that there wasn't one working there at the time of Elisa's stay? Someone who knew that she was travelling alone and had access to her room. Someone who had keys to the roof and the alarm code. Someone who knew where to stand in order to stay off camera, and someone who had the footage and perhaps edited it and doctored it later. And as far as Elisa's reason for pushing a bunch of buttons, young travellers are often encouraged to do that in situations to throw off their attacker. If the elevator is going on multiple floors, the theory goes that the attacker won't know which one the victim's going to or which one the victim is on. So that is all I have on today's case. It's quite an interesting case. I really enjoyed researching it and I really enjoyed doing a video like this. So let me know what you guys think on this case, or just let me know what you guys think on videos like this, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.